Alright, welcome to a game that I had with Max and Red. I'm sitting in a daring while Max is sitting on a Yamato and Red is playing a Shimmy. The game overall is actually pretty interesting. The amount of damage that I'll be doing in the daring and the amount of kills is all nice and dandy, but the surprise actually comes right towards the end. I'm gonna speed up just a little bit so we can get to a situation that we would actually care about and see something happening. As you can see, normal DDs, normal cruisers, normal BBs, everybody's going more or less to the direction they're supposed to. Obviously this is a random game, and therefore eventually shit does hit the fan. People start dying over left and right. But our squad eventually does manage to do a little bit of carrying and survive the match to a very interesting end game situation. Now, I decided to join in with Red. We're both following each other kind of thing. He eventually decided to go to A, and I figured, well, I'm going to try and go and cap B. I spot the gearing, open fire, just to reset the cap. Fully aware that there's basically not that much that can shoot at me at this point. If you look around me, you'll see that there's a Henry in the middle over there to the left, but he's way far, so the moment that Henry got undetected, I was also undetected. I decided harassing the gearing is probably a better idea than to just roam around, make sure that I get the cap, prevent him the cap. A is being capped as well, because the ships there, as well as the Conqueror and Chapayev, are a little bit slow. Red is a little stuck. A Jutland stuck on the side there. Well, not stuck, but rather slow on the uptake. Now, firing these torps, I'm fully aware that both the Henry and the Musashi are far away, but they're moving in the general direction. That's why I also fire them to the right in hopes that both the Henry and the Musashi, either the Musashi slowly walks into them or the Henry turns at some point and decides to take a few torps. At this point, I can see that the gearing sneaks back out. Fire a few volleys. C got capped by us. A got capped by them. Now notice that I am shooting into an area without seeing the gearing, because you're supposed to know more or less where they're gonna go. The gearing is probably gonna go into hiding, facing a daring, and therefore the only hiding he has was the end island. So continuing to shoot is the smart thing to do. Now at this point, the Henry I cannot see where he is. I don't know. He could be following towards me, towards the smoke. He could be going down to the left. But because he didn't get hit by any of the torps, I'm going to assume that he's coming my way. Now those of you who don't know, Shimmy got a nice big buff because of the AP changes. So now a Shimmy, even though the guns may not be as fast as other gunboats, it's still very, very strong guns, and you should be able to utilize the two back turrets to give some serious damage to any DD you see if you know how to play the ship well. As you can see, the Henry did decide eventually to push in, and so it was a good choice, a good call by me to get out of the smoke and move out to avoid the Henry from pummeling me to death. Can have either Hydra or anti-air, so definitely a very smart choice. Turning on the smoke in order to shoot a few rounds into the Henry. Henry takes a big hit. Looks as if it came from the curve first. Red eventually goes down to I can only assume was a Choppa radar, probably exposing him to the Yogo, the curve first, and whatever else was shooting at him. Okay, there we go. There's a Chapayev on the map to the left. I continuously shoot at Henry in hopes of getting another fire. Getting a fire. With no such luck. He is very, very low. C is holding on, but seems to have a lot of things going at it. Both the Curve First, the Republic, the Mino, Conqueror, Musashi, everything is going down our way. the Jetland, which is in front of me. If I can liberate that side from the Jetland, then I should clear it up a little bit more for the friendly team to push in a little bit. Jetland doesn't show enough broadside for a piece, so I started following with HE. He is going straight forward, and there is a Des Moines behind me, so it's a good opportunity to continuously push forward on the other side. I'm actually really happy that Des Moines didn't go straight at him, because he would expose himself to danger that's really unneeded. So a good call by the Des Moines. Max is sort of sitting in the middle. He's shooting a little bit whatever he can, but it looks to be heading towards C. You can see right there. I am trying to get Jetland. Jetland makes a mistake by sitting in smoke. He should have ran out. And right about here. I should be close enough. There we go. Open fire on the Jetland. HE is all you need with this daring. If you got FHE, you should be able to annihilate most DDs pretty quickly. Now that the Jetland is downed, I can start pushing a little bit forward. Gotta obviously dodge some shells, so it's never a good idea to take damage. I fired torps to the top area and thinking maybe, just maybe, the Kerfus decides to push down through the islands. So it's a good way to torp right between those two islands over there, between the D3 and D4 area. Going to the cap. At this point, there's only a Des Moines and a Chapayev on this side. So in order to prevent them from pushing the other side, in order to prevent them from enacting sort of a dual side movement, a pincer movement on my team, the Kerfus, the Yogamo, and the Chapayev have to go down. As you can see, I was correct. The Kerfus was going to move between islands. I was just not correct which islands it was going to be. So I did miss the Kerfus with the torps, but at least we know where he is, and he is closer. Just have to be careful not to be spotted by a plane. But the number one problem is the Chapayev. I have to take the Chapayev radar. I don't know if the Des Moines and the Chapayev on our side is going to help, or they're going to help me. So the only thing that's left to do is to take charge and do it on my own. I don't remember if the Chapayev is doesn't have a lot of health. And currently the teams are doing fairly well maintaining it, maintaining the distance. We actually even get one more kill. Max gets the kill in the Republic. I have to kill the Chapayev and the Yogamo. And the Chapayev is actually a bigger threat than the Yogamo simply because he has radar and the guns will hurt me more. So, first thing you do, you go for the Chapayev. Again, I'm using HE here simply because I don't know if I'll be able to penetrate the Chapayev. I didn't want to take the chance, so I simply went straight off for HE just to do this damage to everything I can. He does a lot of damage to me, but thank God I do have the repair ability, and I can repair my hull quite a bit. Just need to make sure that he dies. Seems like Chapayev on our side tried to help me out a little bit, but ended up dying for it. Chapayev in the turn doesn't use all his guns, and it's too late for him, and he does go down. I used the smoke up in order to make sure that the Kerfus doesn't get a second volley on me, because even though the AP changes are big, he still has 12 guns. You have to remember, you don't want to face a BB with 12 guns, definitely not with such low HP. You still may get deleted. If they do the top damage on each shell and just about 7 or 8 of them hit you, you're either extremely low, which at that point the Yogamo can finish you, or you'll die, so preferably not. I do spot the Kerfus, and the Kerfus does need to eat torps, but he is turning behind the island, fully aware that he's spotted because I'm spotting him, because the Des Moines is not spotted. At this point, the Kerfus is the biggest threat, but the Yogamo should be fairly low, and definitely very low when it comes down to daring guns. So I fire torps at the Kerfus in hopes that he continues on forward. I do spot the Yogamo and open fire on the Yogamo. Seems like there's a small bug there. I am targeting the Yogamo and not the Kerfus, so that's why I'm doing so well. Yogamo ends up running behind the island. Doesn't seem to die, and there's no fire. Does smoke up, so I do turn eventually up towards him. Max and the other side have ended up losing C. They did have the forces, I'm not sure if they were exactly balanced, but they ended up losing C, and they're running backwards, which is what they should do. Now at this stage, if you look closely, there's only a Mino there. The Z and the Kitakaze are running too far away. They should be running towards the enemies in order to try and get some torp hits, but they don't. I end up landing quite a few hits on the Kerfus, leaving him very, very low. He did flood and did repair the flood. So at this point, what you would want to do is the Des Moines to fire HE and burn him down, but the Des Moines hits an island, which means he's in great risk. I try and help him out by shooting at the Kerfus. Shooting at the Kerfus, there we go. The Kerfus is repairing. Kerfus on the opposite side does go down. The Z have ended up launching some torps that seem to have hit it, and the Kerfus on our side ends up killing the Des Moines because, well, you know, he was beached. Surprise, surprise. I go into the cap to try and get the cap because we do have a 300, almost 400, about 450 point difference, and we have 3 caps under. Now, this is where the game starts getting interesting. The teams are balanced. They have a big lead. I'm taking A. Yogomo is 9 the cap because I do manage to take it. But the Kerfus from the fire that I set on him ends up dying. That is huge. At this stage, the Yogo basically starts running in some random direction. I have no idea where to, and I start following the line of capping the one that I'm in, as well as going for B. Yogomo basically starts roaming the line. There's no point in me going after him simply because running after him with the current caps doesn't make any sense. You need to get the other caps. The Z does seem to go for B, but between the Musashi, the Mino, and the Conqueror, they still have a lot of firepower. They can support, they can push on the team down there. So basically it's a 3 versus 4, and I cannot see the difference in HP. So I decide to push towards B in order to support, thinking that maybe, just maybe, the Yogomo is trying to also connect with his friends. Now this could have been the losing point. Not going after the Yogomo could have been a problem. But overall, I don't see myself making this decision any different in the future. The Yogomo thinks that I'm in the cap. He doesn't know where I'm going, so it's going to take him a while as well to turn around and come and get it. He may also think that I'm coming after him. So he's probably slowly making his way, and if I did come after him, maybe I would have killed him, but who knows what would have happened on the opposite side. Speed up just a little bit. As you can see, we are capping B. The Mino does end up pushing into B, into a Conqueror and a Yamato, which is definitely not a smart thing to do. He's being spotted, by the way, by the Z's Hydro and the Kitakaze's spotting range. He ends up taking a big hit from the Conqueror and goes down. Now if you notice, the main issue is not whether or not we're going to reach up, but the problem is that we only have 2 caps and there is a 400, almost 400 point lead, a 300 point lead. That is massive. You don't have a lot of time. You got to start pushing forward and trying to get the kills. Now thankfully that Musashi over there on the opposite side and C decides to continuously push forward instead of reversing. In all honesty, even though they are pushing for the kill and the damage, if they wanted to win, they're doing the opposite of what they should be doing. However, unlucky on our side is that the Conqueror on our side doesn't recognize the threat that he's in between an enemy Conqueror and a Musashi, and he is going to take some very, very big hits very soon. Now if you look behind me on A is currently being capped by the Yogomo. Yogomo probably decided it's a good chance to try and turn back, and we are going to turn back to a 2 versus 1 cap. So even though we have 2 kills more, which is about to be just 1, we're still in a very dire situation. We have to get both the kills, and we're going to have to go back to A. At this point I have nothing to shoot at. And if I have nothing to shoot at, even though the game looks dire, and people sometimes have a tendency of losing faith in winning, you have to do whatever you can. Stop thinking that if you are losing, that's the end of the game. It's never the end. Continuously push. Musashi goes down, but our Conqueror does as well, which means that we are not gaining the point advantage and we're losing C. The Z eventually goes, we lost A. The Z eventually goes and takes C back, but the point difference is massive. And if you can see, they only need one cap to win at 4 minutes, and we have 3 minutes on the clock. So I'm currently sitting at 3 kills and 124k damage in the daring, which is not a bad stat, but it doesn't help us. Now, as you can see, try and enter the cap daring is, thank you very much, I'm fully aware of that. I think anybody who's in the game should be aware that I should run for the cap, but the fact of the matter is that running between B and A is simply not gonna probably be on time. Even if I do enter, we're just not gonna win in time. We have 6 minutes, they have 4 minutes, the game is over in 2.5. You have to be aware of the situation of the time in your game, the situation with the points. Speed up a little bit, the Conqueror gets spotted, kills the Kitakaze, increasing the difference between the points. I am rushing. I do end up spotting the Yogomo. I don't kill him. Not sure where he's going to come. He's probably going to come from the bottom of the island. That's my assumption. I turn on the Hydro. It's a small Hydro, but 3 kilometers is better than nothing. And it's definitely going to help me in trying to dodge his torps if he does end up launching them. He spots me by detection of proxy. He fires the torps, fully aware of them. That I give extra side so I can have some extra maneuverability space. I should have shot a little forward, but eventually, there we go. Second round does go out. He would have died if I had fired a little bit closer to the hole, to the center, and not to the back. He tries to run away. Max says that he is a one-shot Yamato. I end up killing the Yogo. Take a little bit of damage, repair, turn back towards the cap. We are still losing, and we're losing very, very, very big. We're going to lose right now simply on the matter of time because we have 50 seconds left on the game with a 200-point difference. So even if I go in the A cap, it doesn't matter. We need to kill the Conqueror. 30 seconds on the clock. Fully aware that Max says that he's low, and I can't see his HP, even though the meter here says that the HP is different. I can't see, and I'm going to believe that if he said he's low, he is low. At this point, all that's remaining on my side is to sit still. Just prevent the cap for as long as possible, but it really doesn't matter. If they don't get the win, six, 5, 4. At the 4-second mark, Max kills the Conqueror, turns the game in our advantage, and we end up winning the game. Now, this is something that people should really be aware of. You need to stop throwing the game. Just because you don't think you're gonna win doesn't mean you're not gonna win. If you continuously put yourself in a situation where you believe you're not gonna win, then that's what's gonna happen. If you actually do the best you can, you never know what could happen. Thank you very much for joining me for this recording. And if anybody wants to see me on Twitch, my name is Let's Play Potatoes. Go ahead and find me without the E in the potatoes. I will be uploading many games, and I hope that you guys enjoy this. Please subscribe and follow me for future videos. Thank you very much.